Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we are talking about bad spells, specifically bad cantrips. Cantrips that you would think that cantrips couldn't be bad, because you don't waste resources by casting them. They cost you nothing. There's no spell slot involved. But oh no. Oh no, 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 no. There are so many ways you can mess up cantrips because you only get so many of them. And there are other resources in D&D than spell slots. Like your action. Your action economy is a valuable thing. Your concentration, also a valuable thing. And we're going to be talking about those things when we're talking about wizards. Wizards are the ones that have the most spells in the game, the biggest list. And with so many options to choose from, you could be forgiven for picking something that just doesn't quite work right. But here I am to tell you, these are the 5 worst cantrips for wizards, in my opinion, and I recommend all wizards avoid them. But before we get into that list, I'd like to let you know that Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships now. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter, earning you my undying gratitude, as well as getting early access to the videos. I upload videos every other day on my channel, and if you're a member, you get to see those videos the day before the public does. Now, if you can't afford to support or just don't want to, that's okay. My upload schedule has not changed. I am still uploading videos exactly as I have for years. But now, if you're a member, you get access to the videos a day early. That appeals to you, click the join button below the video and join in the review. And if you don't, then thank you anyways for hanging around, for watching the videos and enjoying the content. Now, wizard cantrips. Let's start with Control Flames. This is one of the elemental control spells that was added in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. And it allows you to control flames. You can either take a 5-foot area of flame and put it out, or you can take a area of flame and cause it to expand, as long as there's fuel there for it to expand into. You can even change its color, its light, and you can make crude shapes out of it and animate them. So what are we doing here exactly? Why are we animating flames? If we want to animate flames, there's other spells that can do that. Thaumaturgy is real good at that. And putting fire out, that's all well and good, but you could just use water to do that. And if you want fire to spread, it does that. You don't need to cast a spell to make fire spread. And it even says there has to be like fuel, wood, something like that for it to spread into. Yeah, fire's going to do that without your help. This cantrip just feels like it doesn't do anything. It feels like you're doing something that fire would kind of do on its own, unless you're putting it out, and then you don't need a cantrip, you need water. So yeah, Control Flames just kind of doesn't do it for me. It feels like half of its effects can be done by other spells, and the other half are useless. So yeah, I wouldn't take this. Going on to spells that are replaceable quite easily, let's talk about Dancing Lights. This spell is a concentration spell, so when you cast it, you can't concentrate on other spells that could potentially be more useful. It creates 4 orbs of dim light that you can control with your bonus action and move around. Dim light's not as good as bright light, but maybe you're trying not to give your position away and you just want to control these weird orbs. On the flip side, it takes your concentration, and the orbs are the size of a torch. You know what else is the size of a torch? A torch. Meaning that you don't have to use a cantrip or your concentration on this. You could just light a torch, and you'd get a similar effect. No, you can't make a torch float. Oh wait, yes you can. You have Mage Hand. You can light a torch, hand it to your Mage Hand, and send it somewhere. Now you have a floating light. That's better than a dancing light. And doesn't take concentration. All in all, this spell just doesn't really have a purpose. Like, there's no, sure, you can light up 4 different locations at once with dim light. I don't know why that matters. But all in all, Dancing Lights, if you get this as a racial spell, there's a few races that get this for free, fine. Go ahead, have fun with it if you're not concentrating on anything else. But if you're choosing it as a cantrip, I think you've made a mistake. Another cantrip that I think is a mistake, Poison Spray. A lot of people get suckered in by Poison Spray. I know I did when I first made my spellcasters. Poison Spray forces a saving throw, Constitution saving throw, and if a creature fails that, they take 1d12 poison damage. That is the highest damage die among the cantrips. Even the mighty Eldritch Blast does 1d10. But there's two problems. There's three problems really. One is that it takes a Constitution save, which is a save that most creatures are going to do well on. And if they succeed, they take no damage at all. Two, it's poison damage, which is regularly resisted. Lots of creatures resist poison damage. And three, it only has a range of 10 feet. This is like a puff of poison smoke or something. So it doesn't even benefit from things that extend your range. There's a weird effect here where, like, if you have a spell that is a range of touch, there's a feature that allows you to extend that range to 30 feet and then doubles the range of other spells. In this way, Poison Spray goes from 10 feet to 20 feet, whereas a spell like Shocking Grasp, which is a touch spell, goes to 30 feet. Meaning that the Poison Spray is doing worse than the touch spells, range-wise. It's just a weird interaction, and I think it's the spell's not good. Don't take Poison Spray. There are so many other things, and it's not worth the d12, I promise. That's 1 point of damage on average, better than a d10. Don't bother. Speaking of damaging spells I wouldn't bother with, how about Thunderclap? Now, Thunderclap sounds cool. It's kind of like the spell Thunder Wave, where you create an area of effect. But unlike Thunder Wave, it's a cantrip, right? Its area of effect is 5 feet, so you can attack creatures that are right next to you. And if you're a wizard that's surrounded by creatures, you're in trouble. You'd think Thunderclap might save your butt. But again, it's a Constitution saving throw, and if they resist it, they take no damage. And it only does a d6 of damage, meaning that the only way this is going to do anything is if you've got several creatures around you. Which again, if you've got several creatures around you, you better get your butt out of there. Like, cast Misty Step, get away. Don't try to kill them with Thunderclap. And then the worst part of this spell is the fact that it creates a really loud noise. As part of the spell, it creates a boom that can be heard 100 feet away. You have any idea how many people are going to hear that? Especially if you're sneaking through a dungeon or a castle or something? You're just calling attention to yourself. And some people might want to call attention to themselves. I don't think it's the wizard. So yeah, Thunderclap, no bueno. Finally, the last spell, and this spell is a bit like the poster child for bad cantrips. True Strike. True Strike. Oh, True Strike. Oh dear. True Strike takes an action to cast. You designate a creature, and then the next attack that you make on your next turn against that creature has advantage. That sounds nice, right? Grant yourself advantage on an attack. Here's the problem, is that it specifically states that it is your next turn, meaning you are spending your action on your turn to do nothing. You aren't accomplishing anything. If you manage to attack with a second attack, maybe you're a blade singer or something, and you use this as your cantrip and then you hit with your sword, you don't get advantage on that hit. It has to be the next turn. The spell is specific about that. And yeah, okay, you'd think, fine, I want advantage on my attacks, so I'm going to sacrifice one of my attacks to get advantage on the next one. Mathematically, that's never sound. Granting yourself advantage on a single attack is just universally worse than attacking twice. Attacking twice is just better. So spend your action attacking on turn 1, then spend your action attacking on turn 2. You're going to do better than if you True Strike and then attack. There's just no way to make this spell work. I've seen arguments online for folks that say that advantage is worth it. It just isn't. The numbers do not add up. And honestly, all of these spells aren't worth taking. Whether they do inferior damage, have inferior saving throws, rob you of your concentration, or just don't do anything useful, these are the spells I would avoid. Choose better spells. There's a lot to pick from. Just avoid these landmines that exist in the wizard's list. I promise you don't want them. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more bad spell reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.